The 2016-17 season starts right where 2015-2016 left off, on the western slope of the Rocky Mountains. It's a first for the Reavers as baseball finished third at the JUCO World Series, and now Reaver football kicks it off from Lincoln Park in Grand Junction, Colorado. The Junction Gridiron Challenge as the 6th-ranked Reavers meet the 12th-ranked Matadors of Arizona Western. A whole lot of fresh faces in Reaver Blue. We'll check them out next with head football coach Scott Strohmeyer on the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show. The highlights and more are coming up. The Coach Stroh Show is only on CBTV 17. Kicking it off in style, the 2016 season presenting an opportunity for the Reaver football team, a neutral site game at one of the prettiest places to play in the country against one of the perennial powers. Hello again, I'm Jake Ryan, and as always, to my right is the head coach of the Iowa Western Reavers, head coach Scott Strohmeyer. Let's talk about how Reaver football, the first 7 seasons, have just flown by. You have any great memories from the first touchdowns worth of Reaver football?
Well, there's been a lot of them. I mean, I would say the thing that always jumps out is that first win against ranked opponent at Ellsworth to finish our season, the first season 5-4, over 500. I think that one was a big one that really sprung us to what ended up being a 2012 national championship, to the 2014 team that we ended up losing in it, but the experience that they had when maybe a lot of people counted us out. With that team returning, coming off of a 12-0 and 11-1 season, and then the next year of going back to the national championship. But gosh, there's been so many great players, and now all those guys are finishing up with school, and it's so good to see them and hear from them now. When they want to come back or just touch base. I probably had 25, 30 texts before the game on Saturday just wishing us good luck, and so I mean they're all following us.
Well, that's good, and here's the good news. We have been watching them on college football Saturdays, and now we'll get to watch them on NFL Sundays as well, with obviously Sebastian Tretola and also Geronimo Allison getting a chance to make the Packers. So it's fun to be watching football on Saturday and Sundays after we're done watching the Reavers. All right, Indy can't play, Lackawanna can't travel to Council Bluffs, so you agree to meet in the middle in Grand Junction, Colorado. What a matchup, the Matadors and the Reavers. Let's take a look at the first half highlights as Iowa Western and Arizona Western got it going from Stoker Stadium. On the opposite side of this field is Simplesio Field, where the Reaver baseball team spends a lot of their time in May and June. Let's go with the first play of the game. How about Andre Nunez to Nick Easley? Nice job there from Nick, but the drive ends up sputtering out. Bobby Patterson showing that he hasn't lost any leg from the previous seasons.
No, I mean, and he's done a nice job. We were a little bit nervous he had a sprained ankle coming in, but did really well.
Emmanuel Gantha started for Arizona Western. He'll roll out, throws down the sideline, hits a big tight end as he'll stumble across into Reaver territory as the Matadors tried to keep it going on the ground all game long. Trayvon Rodriguez. Trey meets the Reaver front 7 right there.
Tell you what, we played really good on D, and that was their game plan, was trying to run a smash mouth.
Andre Nunez, 2 plays into the Butler game last season, tears his ACL. Looks to be no worse for the wearer. Looks to be very healthy right now.
He does. He's 100%, and got into rhythm here with 2 runs early in that second drive.
Arizona Western will take over. Still no score in this ball game. Man in motion. Again, a big old tight end just to set the pace for the blockers. Hand out to Greg Bell, the third for Arizona Western. And again, the front 7, I thought played very well. Jalen Dingle, Andrew Van Ginkel, and others making a lot of early tackles.
For us being, probably undersized compared to their offensive line.
That ball tipped into the awaiting hands of Tobias Moss. He'll return it all the way inside the Arizona Western 10-yard line. First turnover of the day.
A big one to put us in position here and get us in good field position.
So the field position at the 8-yard line. First play. Hey, Coach, why don't you go with the option look? All right, there it is. Nunez to Lorenzo Pratt, the redshirt sophomore, is in for 6.
Good job with Kadeem Goulburn making a block out there, but kind of a nice design, just getting him on the edge using the speed.
Yeah, the size of your receivers this year, I figure plays into Lorenzo having a few more days like that this year.
For sure, hopefully.
Handoff again as they try to keep it on the ground. Trey Rodriguez And then the punt by Arizona Western, personal foul called. Why was it blocking the kicker? Did they not block the kick?
They said it wasn't blocked, but I thought I could have swore that I heard it getting blocked.
Well, that ball certainly came off the punter's foot funny for not being blocked. There's a throw outside, and that one intended for their hot shot receiver, Stephon McKnight. It's incomplete, out of bounds. And then, how about a quarterback sack? Moss and Andrew Van Ginkel teaming up for that quarterback sack.
Yeah, good little mix-up, bringing the corner blitz and getting a big play.
A.J. Bush, a guy that was much talked about, off the back foot, left-handed, almost a very awesome completion to Kadeem Goldborn, but it was incomplete. Second quarter, you guys lead 7-0. Gant again slinging it. He had a pretty good arm, short range.
Yeah, he did. And he probably was the best moving him in the pocket. But I thought we played pretty well against it.
How about the Wildcat look here as they direct snap it to Trey Rodriguez, and Andrew Van Ginkel sniffs it out and drives him into his own sideline.
Yeah, this one, that hurt a little bit, safety. We had a blown protection, and if you look at it from the other view, we had a guy running wide open up the seam. But that's kind of the way that the game went, but more so the first half offensively.
So the free kick and then a pretty good return out of it as Arizona Western gets into Reaver territory, and that's not exactly what you want to see.
No, not after you give up a bad play there, offensively, and now they get a short field and just kind of puts you in a bad position. And
Gant dropping it off for what's sure to be a good gain on fourth down. And you look at that drop pass; they had a lot of them early on in the game, and maybe that hampered their offense a little bit.
It did. It gets you out of rhythm, and then we give them one right back. Part of it's a lazy defensive lineman that doesn't get up the field. He just kind of stood there, and unfortunately we threw it right to him.
Well, he was blocked and then popped up right as Nunez threw that ball. So now it sets up Arizona Western. They drive some more. Gant at the 15 stumbles and then brought down as Arizona Western still knocking on the door, but the defense played very well in the first half.
Really good. They didn't get anything, nothing really going. They got their only score was a safety, and then we gave them a short field.
Yeah, and on that play, offensive pass interference turns it over to the Reavers. It'll be A.J. Bush that tries to get rid of it, but he's called for intentional grounding as he was falling down. You think A.J. maybe tried to do too much in his first game?
Well, I think not so much. Yeah, probably a little bit, but the big thing is when you're not in sync with it enough, and probably put a little bit too much on him.
How about offensive pass interference on that as Hakeem Bailey gets his jersey ripped off. That'll end the first half of play. You guys up 7-2. What are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I thought we played extremely well defensively. I thought field position was a major factor in the first half, and offensively we did some good things, but the times when we stopped ourselves it's a one-man. You need 11 guys to do the right thing, and we hurt ourselves with just a couple mental errors. But to be 7-2. I felt, offensively we could play a lot better. Defensively, we got to do a better job of keeping them off the field.
Yeah, a couple great defenses and a pair of offenses trying to get it figured out. 7-2 at the half, a baseball score at the home of the JUCO World Series. We'll have more of the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show. You are watching it right here on CBTV 17.
For more than a quarter century, thousands of Southwest Iowa athletes have relied on this team, GeniEd SportsMed. Their sole focus is to prevent, diagnose, and treat your sports injury. They even partner with the surgeons at Ortho West, ensuring you get your own exclusive roadmap back to action. Methodist GeniEd SportsMed invites all Southwest Iowa athletes to its free walk-in clinic, open every Saturday morning, August through October. GeniEd SportsMed.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
From the studios of CBTV 17 on the campus of Iowa Western Community College, the Coach Stroh Show continues, up 7-2 at the half. Let's take a look at the second half highlights as Coach Strohmeyer and I will roll you right through them. Coach, you were feeling pretty good about it. Obviously, you know that the defense was holding their own and you left a few plays out there. If the offense can come through in the second half, going to be feeling very well. How about Emmanuel Gant starting things off for Arizona Western? Steps out to the right, throws it downfield, and then your defensive backfield is right there. Tobias Moss earlier, Hakeem Bailey right there, and a pair of INTs off of the Arizona Western quarterback.
And good way to start. You know what I mean? Get that ball. You get moving. Lorenzo makes a nice miss, and then he hits the speed and hits the corner, which we missed last year, and he got a little bit of breakaway, so good way to start.
D'Anthony McGriff running down the field with him. Anthony Turner right behind him as well. We saw a great block by Kadeem Goldborn earlier in the game. I mean, those big receivers just helping to seal that outside corner a little bit better.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we have to do with what we're doing offensively and trying to get to the edge and utilize our speed. You got to be able to block on the perimeter.
Central High School out of Grand Junction providing their cheer team for the Reavers. Palisade High School in nearby Palisade providing their cheer team for Arizona Western. So we had some atmosphere and then almost a turnover. Nice kick by Mason Lorber, got it right over that secondary man, and the deep man was a little bit too shallow, and they had a little adventure on that one.
Yeah, and that would have been a good one to get right after getting a score and then getting a turnover. But we get the ball back, and that was really a time where offensively we really need to turn it on, and that's not the way you want to start when you're 14-2 and you got a chance to put some away.
Low snap, Nunez covers it, next play, right up the middle, and again a nice catch and run, good stiff arm by Nick Easley.
Gosh, big play, makes a nice catch, a little adjustment on a hot route, and now we're striking in territory with 14-2. We're up. We need to get in there.
Quick strike again to Easley, so fast he almost didn't get turned around in time. Tries to slide for the end zone, comes up just shy at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, we were hoping to get it, and that's the thing. You get so close, and then you come back and we turn it over. We're still 14-2, but that's an opportunity for us to honestly put them away, being 21-2, make them throw the football.
Sure, just a little bit of. Marquise Hallback was the running back, and Nunez tried to put it in his belly, and it just miscommunication there in game number one. That one thrown to the outside, tipped over the hands of McKnight, and then they'll go for it again as Emmanuel Gant rolls out again. This time in the air, Nick Anderson tipped it up. It seemed like up in the broadcast booth that hung in the air forever.
When I was on the sideline, it did too.
Here's A.J. Bush out of the backfield. He'll show a little bit of his scampering ability. Nice job there. And this low snap right here, tries to pick it up and make a play. Instead, it's a fumble, very reminiscent of Michigan's punter last year against Michigan State, where it turns into a touchdown.
Yeah, it's a thing for him to make a play, and we talked about it. Just get on that in the future and take our losses.
Daniel Ezegwu, and they'll speed this one up as he goes all the way. So you give him 6, but you take back 2, so only a 4-point swing. And a great job by Daniel. He seemed to be the only person for a little while that was actually aware that he could return the football.
Yeah, right. When it was kind of probably, I don't know if it was shocked that it was blocked or what, but it was a good way to swing it. Now we're up 8, so they got a score and a 2-point.
Bobby Patterson, good kick there, touched by Arizona Western, and the Reavers come up just shy of grabbing another loose ball on the turf. No fumble recoveries by the Reavers, but I'll tell you what, there were 2 that were right for the picking.
Yeah, those are the things, again, those are the things that you need, those turnovers that can really hurt an offense or change the momentum.
Pressure coming again. The Reavers will get it back, but forced to punt yet again. And this one, I believe, is what's called out-kicking your punt coverage, usually referred to when, let's just bring up your wife, for example. But this one is the football term, and man, oh man, Bobby Patterson back there, and he does save the touchdown briefly, but a heck of a return by Trey Rodriguez.
Yeah, not the way you want to go. You get a stop, and you got the game's we're still up by a touchdown and 2-point, and they end up getting a big return. And
so he punches it on the Wildcat. Gant spins this one around, throws it to the shortest guy in the field in the back, and he's just kind of hanging out there. It's Master Powell who finds his way inbounds along that back end zone line, and it's all tied up at 16.
Well, and they wasn't even the guy who was throwing it to. He's throwing it to the other guy too high and ends up right in. So that's just the way it was kind of going. But we come back. Luckily, we didn't maybe get a clip there, but a big return, and so we can answer at 16-16 now, and see if we can't get things going.
D'Anthony McGriff, a 52-yard return, a yard out of the end zone, and then across into Matador territory. And then you feel a little confidence. I thought there was a little swagger back after that kickoff return, Coach.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and that's sometimes what it is. It takes a play, you know, get a play, and then you can. This one right here, we probably should have got in. We did step out there, but I thought it was going to be a touchdown,
yeah.
No problem. Which hurts, you know, we get lucky here. This is a screen pass. We've got linemen downfield, and they give us a catch there, but, you know, we'll take it. Unfortunately, we got to be able to punch those in. We can't settle for 3.
So you come up just shy, but do get a field goal, 19-16 Arizona Western. Well, desperation right now. They will go all the way down the field, and
It's right there.
They got it right there. It could have been an INT. Instead, they drive it a little bit farther down, and possibly the ugliest kick of the year somehow makes it over the uprights. Looked a little bit closer than it did upstairs right there, and the captains will come out for overtime. You get an opportunity for a field goal in OT, and that one just right by Bobby Patterson. So Arizona Western knows all it needs is a field goal, and instead, well, they'll go to the air a couple times. In fact, they hand it off and then go to the air.
Yeah, I know. I knew it was coming. I know Coach Minnick extremely well, and from playing against him and talking to him, he's always got some trickery. And I thought when we called the timeout on defense, I thought that trick play was coming at the end of the game to win it, because I know he does those halfback passes. I've seen him too many times against me. But you know, they executed. At the end of the day, we didn't. They made the plays when they had to, regardless of how the game went. They made the plays down the stretch when they had to, and we didn't. We missed some opportunities.
How much did watching film, were you just like, oh, we should have had that one. Oh, we should have had that one. I mean, do you point that out to the guys? Obviously, when you're watching film with them, they had to know that they left one out there as well.
For sure they did. And to be honest with you, we were probably, you know, a 3-touchdown game, you know, better than them. It should have been 3 touchdowns. Now, I'm not saying that it's on that day they executed, we didn't. I mean, there was probably 4 plays where if it was a missed read, 1 missed block, 1 guy not going to the right guy, and they're huge plays that we can get.
Yeah.
You know, like we say, it's a game of inches. You know, we step out of bounds on one, we're short on another. We fumble it inside the red zone. We give them a safety, we give them a touchdown. So we gave them too much.
Well, there's good news. You've got the entire rest of the season to play, and there's so much more that can happen. When we return, we'll talk to a player that is proof that persistence pays off. Running back Lorenzo Pratt joins the show when we come back. This is the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV 17.
Your future is here at CBTV. You're in the game. You take the shots. It's your story. The Media Studies program at Iowa Western. Real reality TV starring you. For more information, go to iwcc.edu.
In today's world, getting things done means being connected. The challenge, though, is staying connected, no matter where you are. In Council Bluffs, we had a nutty idea. What if we tried to connect everyone in our community for free? How great would it be if we could always communicate, stay creative, and enjoy the things that make us unique together? Just think of all the opportunities to learn new things, find new friends, and do it all in the blink of an eye. Introducing Blink, Bluffs Community Wi-Fi. It's free, and it's coming to your neighborhood soon. Learn more at blinkwifi.org.
Body language. Without saying a word, it can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
The Coach Stroh Show continues here on CBTV 17. I'm IDUB TV student Joel Divick, along with Reaver running back Lorenzo Pratt. Lorenzo, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Now, I got to ask you, it's a long trip out to Grand Junction, so did you survive on the way back and the way too?
Yeah, you know, it was a long ride, but enjoyed it.
Got some nutrition in you, and you were ready for the game on Saturday?
Yes.
Now, I know you're more of a team guy, and you're probably a little bit disappointed with the loss that you guys suffered. It was a tough one, but you had a breakout game, I feel like. What went well to produce a really good game for you, 2 touchdowns on the day?
You know, everything I do, you know, I keep God first. And I always have to give my offensive line praise. So without them, I won't be able, you know, to get my yardage.
Now, do you think you're more of a sprinter or in between the tackles guy? Are you more shifty? How do you think you run the ball?
You know, over this summer, I've been like trying to work on it every little, you know, like little detail, you know, just try to get better at breaking between the tackles, you know, getting faster, everything, lifting weights just to get stronger, you know, break easy, like not getting brought down by one guy, but happening to make the whole defense try to tackle me. So I've been trying to work on that this whole summer.
Absolutely. Now, you sat out 2015, redshirted, and you were there for the 2014 season when they went to the national championship. Unfortunately, you guys didn't win. You had a whole season to put in that work. How did it feel to get back out on the field?
You know, it was a blessing, you know, sitting out that 2015 season, you know, I dislocated my shoulder at least like 4 or 5 times in fall camp. So it was like, I feel like God made things happen for a reason. So I sat out that season, you know, got bigger, faster, and stronger. So, and this season, you know, I'm ready to have a breakout season.
Absolutely. Now, you've got Hutch coming up, and they're a pretty good team. Last year, they were picked to win the J-Out Conference. They'll be in contention again this year. They just beat Coffeyville. Now, how do you guys plan to bounce back and get the train back on the track, so to speak?
You know, we just got to come as a team, you know. We just got to fix our little mistakes, you know. Like last game, we should have won, but we came up short, you know, because of our little mental mistakes. So we all, like this week in practice, you know, we got to come harder, get well conditioned, and then just read your keys 1 and 2s. That's it.
Absolutely. Now, the last question I have for you. People have been saying you're the fastest on the team, but who do you think would be in competition for you for maybe second fastest if you think you're the fastest?
Man, surprisingly, I would say DeAnthony McGriff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of chubby, but yeah, he's fast. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me today, Lorenzo. We wish you luck against Hutchinson, and we hope you break through into the end zone for a few more touchdowns next week.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, Jake Ryan and the coach are back to talk about the Reavers and this week's showdown in Hutchinson, Kansas. The Stroh Show will be right back.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you feel the sun?
Back to wrap up the Coach Stroh Show here on CBTV 17. Jake Ryan along with head coach Scott Strohmeyer. Well, Coach, Colorado seems to be the logical neutral site game for the Reavers, and this is the second time that you've played a game in the state of Colorado on a neutral site. Obviously, it was New Mexico Military in 2012, Arizona Western in 2016. Do you think that the more games like that get played in outside communities, like for example, Georgia Military travels to West Virginia to play some of the New York schools, do you think that that's good for the game of JUCO football as a whole, the more those neutral site games are played?
Well, I think so. I mean, especially if you get people that come and watch it to see the caliber of play that's being played, and anytime we can get exposure, for us, our guys practice at the University of Colorado. We don't ever get out that direction. Sure. So, gives us those opportunities, gives our kids opportunities, and the more exposure you can get for junior college football, I think is definitely a positive.
Obviously, we had about 500 people, some Colorado Mesa University students, kids were admitted free, the cheer teams. I mean, it was a pretty good atmosphere for being a neutral site game.
It was. I was pretty impressed. I didn't know how many fans would show up. Obviously, we always have decent parent support. But then for the local communities, we were eating in, I think, the Golden Corral, and there was probably about 8 or 10 people that came up to me and said, yeah, we follow the Reaver baseball team, and we're going to come, or what time's the game, what's it cost? Sure. And so we got even some of them. They came up to me after the game and said that we're here. Yeah. So they followed through. They just didn't say they were going to come.
Good. Well, it's good to see the support that they had. Arizona Western had some fans as well. So overall, I thought it was a pretty well-attended day, and I thought the atmosphere was a college football game. It's a lot better than playing in front of a bunch of empty seats. That's
for sure. Like I said, and a great venue.
So let's talk about some of the stats over the course of the game. Lorenzo Pratt, obviously the first 100-yard game since the beginning of last season, so it was good to see your running game get going. What do you think your quarterbacks need to do in order to be a little bit more productive next week?
Well, I think it's just more consistent. It's not, we got to protect better. That's number one, and to give them a little bit more time to throw the football down the field. But you just got to play within the system. You can't try to do too much. And I mean, we're fine there. I mean, we got some talented players. I think now it's just more of a confidence thing of giving them time to throw. I wish, looking back, just like some of the plays that we wish we had back. I wish I had some plays back as well, and would have maybe changed some things too. But that's first game, and we're still trying to learn our players a little bit. Unfortunately, you don't want to waste a game on that, but sometimes that happens.
Well, game number 2 this week, a 12 o'clock kick against Hutchinson, the Blue Dragons. Obviously, you went in there last season and upended them pretty good. The defense was very opportunistic last season. What do you expect this year from the Blue Dragons?
Well, the same thing. I mean, they scored some points. They got talent. They got new staff as well, or a bunch of new coaches as well on the offensive side. So they're doing a bunch of new stuff, some really good stuff. How they're attacking defenses. Defensively, they're going to be similar. I mean, they're always big and athletic. Yeah, that's the way they always are. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, especially coming off after a loss. We got to improve. That's what I'm focusing on. Let's just do our assignment. I don't care who we're playing or how good they are. Right. If we can do our assignment, we got a chance.
All right, get in there and take care of business. It is Hutchinson and the Reavers starting at 12 o'clock from Gowan Stadium in Hutchinson, Kansas. We will have the pregame on at 11 o'clock on 89.7 The River. You can watch the game as well on NJCAA TV. That does it for our first episode of the season. There is more Stroh Show each and every week of Reaver football. Reminder that you can see more highlights of Reaver football, volleyball, soccer, and Southwest Iowa High Schools on the Bluff Sports Zone. That's hosted by CBTV 17 Sports Director JJ Davis, and you can do that every week as well. Thanks again to Reaver head football coach Scott Strohmeyer and Iowa Western running back Lorenzo Pratt for stopping by to be on the show today. For all of the hardworking IWTV students and student host Joel Dievik, I'm Jake Ryan reminding you that we'll talk to you Saturday, and to wear blue, be loud, and go Reavers.